Is your local model shop going to close? Well, if things keep going the way that they are, that might be a distinct possibility. With the ever-increasing price crisis, the cost of models is going up for me and you, but also for the people that supply them to me and you. And when the people that supply them can't afford to buy them anymore, what happens? Let me explain what I think. So that is my new Bachmann 9F. I got that very recently from Great Eastern Models. Got that from Anne and Helen, who were great enough to send it to me, and I got a decent deal on it as well. So thank you very much, ladies, for helping me out with that. Now, I didn't pay the RRP for that because they have it on sale. Like most people, most retailers these days, they have a sale at the end of the year, and this seems to be becoming a little bit of a learned habit. And there's a little bit of a crisis going on in terms of getting the prices right. And I'm not just talking about if you're a retailer and you're reselling models, I'm talking about if you're a manufacturer. Now you might quite rightly think, well, what does it matter? The retailers get a discount when they buy several models, they get the retailer discount and then they sell them on at whatever they deem necessary to make a profit and everything else, because it's not a charity, they are in it to make a living. But the problem then comes when a manufacturer releases a model with an RRP of 350 quid, which is close to what that was. The Hornby version is a similar sort of price. Arguably, now I've gone for the Bachmann one, but looking at it on paper, I do think I should have gone for the Hornby one because they're about the same price. You do get arguably better features with the Hornby version. There's nothing wrong with the Bachmann one, but it doesn't have Fireblocks flicker, it doesn't have the die-cast body, and it has a Plux 22 decoder rather than a 21 pin, go figure. The standard sound on the Bachmann one though is, in a word, crap. It's very lackluster indeed, as you can hear. It's okay, it's not terrible, but it doesn't do anything. You just it's okay. It's okay for what it is. I am quite a fan of the Hornby TXS stuff. I quite like the profiles you got on those locos, but that's irrelevant. Talking about the price today. Now, this isn't about what's good or bad value. That is still a very personal thing, and it's only something that you can decide for yourself whether something is good or bad value. So I'm not going to say whether or not the Bachmann's good or bad value, or whether the Hornby is good or bad value. I'm just going to say how I see it, and that is when you're a manufacturer and you release a model for over 300 quid and no one buys it. I say when no one buys it. You always have one of two types of people, maybe three, that purchase models. You have the early adapters, who absolutely must have the latest tooling of every model that comes out. The second it comes out, pre-order it all, no matter what the cost, they must have it. And that's fine, that's fine. You then have everyone else who waits for it to maybe come down a little bit in the prices, because they will come down eventually. It's something we've all seen happening. Prices do inevitably fall, usually around holiday season, so that is something to keep in mind and think about. And then you got the odd ones that just try and get one wherever they can. There's always going to be some that falls in between those categories. But there's a problem with that. There's a problem with the whole let's wait till it goes on sale thing, because what do the people do that have got these models sat on their shelves for the best part of the whole year? 2 years, 3 years. The model isn't selling because it's too expensive, so what do? You reduce it in price. And then the competitors reduce their price. So if you want to sell your model, you've got to match their price. And all of a sudden, everyone's bottom line's going down, apart from the manufacturer, whose bottom line is still the same, regardless of when you buy your model or when I buy mine. or when Rails or Hattons or Great Eastern Models or your local retailer, whoever it is, buys theirs, manufacturer's bottom line is still the same. The difference is the retailers are all having a race to the bottom. Now, if manufacturers got the prices right from the beginning, would people or would people not buy the models sooner rather than waiting for the inevitable sales at the end of the year? Yes, I'm sure a sale might well come, but the discount wouldn't be that heavy compared to how it would be with a £300 model. We are seeing now models at 40 to 50% off retail price. That is a lot of money, and they are still at that price, 40% off, they are still 240 quid, 250 quid, 260 quid. Some manufacturers, Curoscale for example, they are releasing brand new models, RRP, 270 quid. And you don't tend to see their models discounted. I don't think I've ever come across a Curoscale locomotive at a discount price. There may be someone somewhere that's bought one at a discounted price from a really small local independent shop. I've seen a few wagons discounted, but not more than 10%, which is arguably an industry standard these days anyway. So my question is, how long is it sustainable for? How long can your local model shop sit on a product that they've bought, say for example 100 units of? They've bought 100 Curoscale class 37s or 100 Vatman class 47s. And they've been told this is the recommended retail price. It's £350, Mr. Retailer. Okay, he says not a problem at all. He puts it on display in his shop, and he gets one or two local customers buy one from him. Then a week later, a competitor of his, one of the bigger box shifters perhaps, has that exact same model for sale for 10% less. Now, he won't have gotten the same price as the bigger box shifters would, because he just won't have been able to afford to buy that many units in one go. That's just how this thing works. That's not just unique to the model railway world, that's just how wholesale and retail works in general. The bigger your buying power, the more you can afford to buy in one go, therefore you get a bigger discount and can afford to give a high discount to people, to your customers, which is fantastic for you and me, not so great for Joe Bloggs running his model shop, who is worrying whether or not he's going to be able to sell £10,000 worth of models, because he's now looking at his bottom line and having to discount against the bigger box shifters, no names mentioned, you can draw your own conclusions, and all of a sudden his bottom line is approaching a point of where if he price matches these bigger retailers, he's either losing money or just breaking even, which is no good. It's absolutely no good. People will sit and they will apologise and they will defend manufacturers for the prices going up. They'll say, well, the cost of production's gone up, the cost of materials has gone up, it costs more to pay labour, and the developing countries are coming on with workers' rights, which is a good thing, but I don't think it warrants the increases we've seen, personally. And I know for a fact I am not alone in that opinion. Some people will voice it publicly, some people will voice it behind closed doors, but I know for a fact that opinion is shared. There is price gouging going on. It is happening. Not by every manufacturer, and maybe not as much as each other, but there is some going on. That I think is clear. And how long will it be before the manufacturers not only price out certain customers from the hobby, but the very people trying to sell their models as well? How long before Batman, Hornby, Dapol, whoever else you want to mention, just picking on the big three for now, but insert your names here, how long before their retail prices, their RRPs, become so inflated, so high, that you as an independent model shop owner, and of course I understand that a lot of independent model shop owners don't want to step on any toes, and they don't want to be seen in the public eye, to be not bashing but questioning the hand that feeds them, so to speak. But how long will it be before those independent shops have to sit there and say, do you know what, by the time I've paid for and ordered and sold all of these models at that price, and then I will have to reduce the retail price, I will have to put on sale, I've broken even, or I've actually lost money. When I got my Class 47, I won't mention who it was, but I got it from an independent, and the long story short is they weren't making enough on it, the price that they were doing it for, and it was a similar price to everyone else as well. Difference is I went to the smaller people in that instance just to help them out a little bit, and it's unfair. It's not just pricing us out of the hobby. Eventually you are going to price out the independent shops. It will happen. It's not a matter of if, it is now a matter of when. Your local independent shop says, I'm out, I can't do this anymore, I can't afford to spend this amount of money on this many units to maybe sell half of them at retail price and lose money on the rest. It just won't happen. That then means you and I have less choice about where we shop, which means the very few that do have the buying power will end up having more power because they'll have less competition and the prices will go up even further still. And those 40, 50, 60% discounts we're enjoying now will eventually disappear, because this is me speaking as someone that does retail for a living. If your competitors do not have something that you have, i.e. you are the only person that has it, they can't get one of that item, you can sell it for pretty much whatever you want, provided it's something that people do want. You don't discount things that can't be bought anywhere else. So they won't. The prices will stay close to retail, maybe 5-10% off, and that to me, you might be an extra 20-30 quid. So you can see where we're going with this, can't you? It's a vicious circle. I know we're talking about prices again and everything else, and it's boring and it's just but it is important. It really, really is important, and we will start seeing independent retailers disappearing because they cannot afford to be part of the game anymore. They cannot afford to keep up with these increasing RRPs. It's not like the RRP on a locomotive goes up, but the cost price is still the same. That goes up in tandem. Sometimes it even goes up close to the RRP. So what do? I want to know what you folks think at home. What do you, gentle viewer, think and feel about the whole price crisis which is going on at the minute? And it is a crisis. Make no mistake about that. It is a crisis, and it will become a problem very soon. If prices do not level out or even come down, there will be repercussions, and we will lose valued members of this model railway community, both in people modelling and of course supplying the models as well. Please let me know what you think. Now, if you are an independent model shop owner watching this video and you feel you want to put across your true feelings and opinions without jeopardising the hand that feeds, so to speak, or jeopardising your relationship with a particular supplier or manufacturer, then please feel free to send me an email at ironhorserailways@gmail.com, or make a spoof account or whatever. Quietly and discreetly leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, because I would be interested to know what it is you folks actually think about when you see a new model come to market and you think, it's just really high price. Not all my customers would buy it. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. And as always, this is a varied and wide scoped hobby. Again, not knocking any manufacturers in particular, because all the prices are going up across the board, but there has to be a ceiling at some point for everyone, not just for us, but for the retailers as well. Guys, thank you very much for bearing with me with this bit of a rant, as always. If you liked the 9F, let me know what you think. And did you go for the Hornby one or the Batman one? But I hope you all have a good Christmas, and I will see you all possibly next year depending on what's going on. There's been a lot up and down here recently, so there will not be a regular video next week because Monday and Tuesday is Christmas Day and Boxing Day. I'll be spending that with family, and those are normally my filming days, so next week's video won't be a rant or a conversation. It's probably just going to be a good old-fashioned simple running session, and it won't be 20 minutes long either. So yay! Back to watching, guys. Do take care, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.